So, with this chapter of Fairy Tail, I ain't gonna lie, when I read it, I kind of got a little watery in the eyes, and that's even knowing everything I know about Fairy Tail. But, a couple of things I gotta think about. For starters, it is that 99 chapter, and what I mean by 99, just like last time when it was chapter 399, Hero did some tragic and fucked up shit, you know, with the whole Igneel stuff or whatever. So, I'm thinking maybe, possibly, because the big thing right now about this chapter is that it was an amazing chapter. Honestly, hands down, 10 out of 10. Fucking phenomenal chapter. However, in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, end of this arc, whatever, this chapter could be absolutely shit and pointless, because if Hiro Mashima goes back and makes it that Juvia returns, I don't care any which way, this chapter is going to be meaningless, pointless, and even more aggravating because, again, I did feel emotion. Even though I know what Fairy Tail is, and even though I'd be like, oh yeah, it's probably going to be a troll and shit like that, reading it, it was fucking very well done. I mean, between both of them simultaneously stabbing themselves so that they could commit suicide so the other one could live, and then Juvia doing the blood transfusion, Great holding her dead there, that was absolutely amazing. Invel, you a little on them drugs to think that you can take out END, but nonetheless, it was a fucking phenomenal chapter. But the thing about it is that we know Fairy Tail, we know this manga, we just had shit like this happen a few chapters ago with Gajeel, how we thought he was dead, we had the fucking tragic cries and shit like that, and then a chapter or two later, motherfucker's back. So we know how this works. However, I'm hoping, I'm going to be hopeful that this chapter doesn't turn into dog shit in a week or a month or wherever the fuck it could possibly have Juvia return. Also, I'm thinking like the possibility of her returning, not only just because of Fairy Tail, but some little technicalities as well. Is remember, Juvia is a water person, you know, she's a liquid, so to speak. She turns into liquid and shit like that. She did a blood transfusion and told Gray, I'm always going to be with you. Now, obviously, it was metaphorically the way she said it, but it also could be literally, because what about, and honestly, it's a possibility, Gray could be at some given point crying or some shit, and Juvia says, I'm back, or, you know, there's so many possibilities because she's a liquid person that she could return. I mean, Gray could be fucking having a nice little jack-off session, and she could pop out of his dick as a semen and say, I'm back, bitch! And that's what I think is the only problematic aspect, but it's not necessarily with the chapter. It's just because if you've read Fairy Tail up until this point, and you've seen shit like this happen, then you know what I'm talking about, that the characters do return, and it's like, amazing chapter, phenomenal, 10 out of 10, great shit. But if she returns, which is very probable that she will, it's gonna be a pointless and shitty chapter. That's my take on it, and of course I will eat my words, because right now I'm kind of eating them, because it was a very good chapter, and I didn't think Hero was gonna go this dark with both of them stabbing themselves and shit like that, basically trying to commit suicide. I'm like, okay, Hero, you're doing some big shit, let's see if you can stay that way. And it's like, the fan in me wants to say, oh man, I really hope she's gonna return, but the fact that everybody has returned from their death and shit like that makes me say otherwise. Not to mention the great setup of Gray seemingly turning into a monster, getting ready to go fuck up Invel, and also eventually him going up against END, because he will blame a shit ton of these bad events on Natsu, END. So we have that as well in the wings. Again, absolutely amazing chapter. Loved it. Gray going savage at the end, looking like he's about to kill Envil and shit like that. Amazing. Just hopefully it stays that way. But let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. How do you feel about what happened with Gray and Juvia? Do you think that Juvia is going to return? Bottom line, you think she's going to return? You think that because she's a liquid person, she'll come back because she did the blood transfusion with Gray? Gray will get like a big stab wound and she'll return? Or maybe she'll be around to mentally talk to Gray? Like, what do you think is going to happen regarding that? Or you think she's going to be permanently gone? And also, are you excited for Gray to go savage? Because if it's chapter 500, 499 was already impactful, I'm imagining next week is going to be a huge chapter as well. And your overall thoughts of this chapter, did you get them feels? Did you have a tear? Like, even though I know what Fairy Tail is, I still got in the moment. I still had my little sad shit going on because it was beautiful. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.